My new favorite button on the trolling motor is this north button. So you want to go that way, you just hit this button and the motor will take you there. Watch what happens when I turn the rudder. So you turn it right, the motor is still trying to pull me to the point we need to go to. Turn left, it corrects for that too. This is great for when you're heading to your spot but you need to do some rigging. I've had this kayak for a while and I just figured that out. I think I've had this thing for, it's probably my 3rd season with it. So, yeah, I love it when you find something new. I've been fishing with this kayak setup for a couple years now, and I decided it's time for some upgrades and maybe a little different setup. I picked up this Oldtown autopilot dashboard from Navarre Kayak Fishing. After tons of research online, I finally found a design I liked, and this was the one. It's a pretty solid hunk of starboard with some homemade 3D printed parts and some T-Track hardware on it. Fits easily on the Oldtown autopilot kayaks. I picked up this riser kit, which they recommend for anyone over 5 feet 10 inches tall. Since I'm 6'2", I decided to get it. I'm glad I did. It comes with these 3D printed 1/4-20 nuts. I may upgrade these to stainless steel hardware eventually, but for now, I'll give them a whirl. I wanted this dashboard to be as far forward as I could get it, so I pulled up the motor and lined it up so there was just enough clearance for the motor to cycle up and down without hitting the dashboard. Of course, my wife had to come in and check it out.
Oh, what is that? There's something new there. And the camera. Somewhere in here. Fish finder. Go. He's like. That's how you figure out where you want stuff. What's the best position?
I think that might go right in the middle, but the cool part is, since I'll have the gear track,
Yeah,
be able to move it wherever
slide
I
it
want.
up. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me too. That way when you're fishing, you don't have to lean clear forward on the boat to get to all your equipment.
So now it's time to start drilling holes and mounting the new electronics and get this thing ready for my next fishing trip.
The starboard came with a plastic covering on it, so I just left it on there while I drilled the holes, and it was kind of handy for marking them out too. Once I got everything figured out and the holes drilled, then I could peel away parts of the plastic. Added a little electronics grade RTV to the cables, and anywhere the wires would feed through the dashboard, just to help seal it up a little. I have a tendency to over torque things and break parts with the electric screwdriver, so I like to mount everything with a hand screwdriver. One of the upgrades I'm adding is this 8-circuit Bluetooth enabled switching system from Yak Power. I went with the 8-circuit system, so I'd have plenty of room for upgrades down the road. My upgrades this time are adding a USB port for charging my cell phone and also running my camera, and I'm also moving the fish finder to the middle of the dashboard. The Oldtown through-hole wiring kit makes it really easy to run wires through this kayak, and it helps keep them neat. I often find it tricky trying to bring in the fish and get them in the net, working around my camera and the fish finder hanging on the side of the boat. I'm always afraid I'm going to knock something off, so having it more towards the center of the boat makes me feel a little more comfortable. Now it's time to hook on the battery and see if I got all this wiring correct. Right here I'm plugging in the dashboard control to the switch module, and I plug that into the battery, and you see the control on the dashboard's lit up. I'll eventually put the 8-way switch control module down into that front compartment on the kayak. And here is the USB that I bought off of Amazon. That will be powering my cameras. Give it a little test here. Looks like that's wired right. And now to test the fish finder. Each device is on its own circuit. Looks like that one's good too.
Alright, so it's Thursday after work. Got all the parts I need to put the power on my kayak. I'm going to try to do it all tonight before I go fishing tomorrow. So the parts that I got in are the track, and then I got this little, call it a tent, I think, on Amazon for the USB plug. So I'm gonna figure out where to mount all these things and try to get them mounted tonight, and then I can try them out tomorrow. And what I'm thinking is, I think the USB port, kind of like to have the camera over on this side like usual, and I'd like to be able to get one of these on and off the track without having to take that off. So probably about right in there. So what I'm trying to do is figure out where everything's going to fit best. It'd be really cool to mount my USB plug like right there. And then later, if I need to, I can add more track out here or over here. My main goal with all of this was to have the fish finder in front of me and the camera within reach, and then maybe a spot for my cell phone, and definitely a way to charge things. And then thinking about all of that is when I saw the Yak Power 8-way plug, which I thought, this thing's pretty cool. So I had to have that. And then, I mean, there's room to expand here if I need to. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is start marking some holes here and start mounting some things. I'm just going to kind of eyeball things for now.
At this point, I'll go ahead and get everything mounted, and then we'll take a look at everything when it's done, and we'll go try this thing out.
So there's one other thing we need to do. This is where I bought this from these guys. Bar Kayak Fishing. So he had the solution that I had in mind to get, and this one looked like the best one out of, there's a couple other options I saw that it didn't really think were going to work very well, because I really wanted to be able to do a track and stuff like this where I can add extra accessories. I wanted a nice platform to work with, and this looked like the best thing. When I got my package, it had this cool note in it, handwritten "Thank you for purchasing this." And of course, I got a couple of stickers, so I got to figure out where to put these. I got 2 of these. These are cool, so I'll be sticking those on here somewhere.
Hey, thanks for coming along and supporting my channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for more fishing adventures, and we'll catch you next time.
Good. Yeah. Still got room for your toes? Well, you are 6'3". But
all kinds of room right here.
yeah, that's as far forward as you can do it with the motor in its location, so that it can go up and down. Yeah. That's the other benefit of having this, is because you were always dealing with your cameras shutting off because the batteries die. This way you can have the power goes up here, right?
Yep.
And then it'll all run back and down and through, and you can have your little plug-ins, your little ports.
key for it. Which, I'm gonna figure out how to have that.
Well,
I think it'll be fine.
when does your track get here? Oh. Colin sick.
Put it on top.